Hello guys, welcome in another lure making video tutorial. In this video I'll show you how I made my lure dryer. This dryer can fit up to 30 large jerkbaits. I clamped down a level to 6mm MDF board. That will help me to get the straight cut. For this build I need two 30 by 30 cm and two 30 by 50 cm pieces. I use the same technique to cut them. I clean a cutting edge with a sandpaper. I used online gear template generator to design and print my gears. I'll post a link for the generator in the video description below. Cutting them with the scissors and using a glue stick, I'll attach them into a plywood. Plywood that I use is a leftover after renovation of the floor in my boat, so I had this lying around the workshop. I turned on my dust collector and started to cut the shape around the template. I don't have to be super accurate at that point. I may correct that later on, but it turned out to be pretty well. With both pieces completed, it's time to mark drilling positions. When this is finished, I'm moving to a drill press. This is a very messy part, so I keep the bin just next to the drilling station. When I'm done at the drilling station, I'm going back to the bandsaw to finish cutting gears. I cut along the template as accurate as possible. To give gears final finish, I went to my belt sander to round over the edges. This seems to help a lot. To find exact center of the wall pieces, I draw two diagonal lines on MDF boards that I have cut before. I use a pointer to mark drilling spots. Here's a mounting bracket that my dad welded for me. It's basically a nail welded to the metal bracket. The other one is a piece of pipe welded to some scrap metal. I drill a 5mm hole in both of my gears. I put a 5mm nail inside the gear and my mounting bracket on the top of this to mark drilling positions. I do the same on the MDF board. I drill the holes and start to put all pieces together. With a hobby knife I remove a template as I won't need it anymore. I put in the other bracket, mark the drilling positions and drill them with 3mm drill bit. To secure this bracket I'm using rivets, which I pushed in with pliers and a bit of force. Clamping a wooden piece to the bottom board. To keep it away from the edge I used a small piece of 6mm MDF. This way I'll have a room for side walls. I put that upside down on the edge of my workbench, and with a Dremel tool I drill a pilot holes and screw in some screws. I need to repeat the same on the other side. To make spacers inside the dryer I used a piece of foam board print. I used it because it's very light and it was lying around the workshop. I set the guide on my bandsaw for 22mm and cut some stripes. Off the camera I sanded the edges with the sandpaper to give them a smooth finish. I secured them to the MDF with some short stainless steel screws. I use a clamp to hold the wall piece at its position. With a Dremel I drill a pilot holes again. I added some screws and repeated the same on the other side. With the main part almost completed, I pushed 5mm nail inside. To make a stopper for the lure frames, I used a longer 50cm piece of foam board again. With Dremel and 1.5mm drill bit, I make holes through the foam to the MDF. I put 1.5mm nails inside. Holes that I just drilled are a bit shorter than the length of nails. I push them in with the pliers. This way they'll hold much better. To make legs for the dryer I cut 2 pieces of 18mm plywood. I've drilled 8mm holes in both of them. I'm making some cutting lines. I want the legs to be Y-shape, so the rotating part will fit in easily and won't fall off. Back at the bandsaw, I'm making straight cuts along the lines. I moved to a belt sander to round over the edges. With a Forstner bit I drill a 15mm hole for a shaft of the motor. I screw legs to MDF boards and temporarily clamp them to my workbench to make some test spins. To be honest, I didn't think that it will be spinning so easily. To connect the motor to the power source, I used some old power cable with a switch that I cut away from old lamp. With crimping pliers I attached some connectors. The motor I used for this build is sold as a kebab machine motor. It is very cheap and quite strong. It cost about $5. With Dremel cutting disc I cut a piece of Allen key. And I tapped this inside of my gear. I put that into my motor shaft. I used smaller size of Allen key because I didn't have a proper one, and this had a bit of play. To get rid of that play I put some electric tape on it, and it made very tight fit. Unfortunately I didn't realize that under weight electric tape will wear out. That resulted in dryer being a bit longer in one position and the epoxy going to the front of the lures. I fixed that problem by using a proper size Allen key later. To find best position for the motor I clamped it to the leg and made some test spins. When I was happy with the performance I screwed the motor in permanently. To keep the dryer in one position I made some washer from 3mm polycarbonate sheet. I fit them on and added some 5-minute epoxy to keep the washer in place. On the inside part I marked the line and cut the excess off with a Dremel. To make front stoppers I used some nails. I cut their heads off. I bent them against some hardwood to get approximately 90-degree angle. With all nails prepared I fit them into a long piece of wood and I'll attach that to my dryer. I apply epoxy on my small dryer. Lures are mounted inside 30 by 30 cm frames. When the applying part is finished, I transfer the lure frame to the large dryer. Soon I will release a video with a couple of tips and tricks how to improve your drying process. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit the like button or share the video. If you want to be notified about my future lure making videos, please subscribe.